Hello, my name is Zachariah with Old Man Gaming, and welcome to another Snap Judgment Review. What's a Snap Judgment Review? If you've never listened before, well, I think game reviewers nowadays get a little bit too concerned with completing a game or near 100%ing it. They maybe forget what it's like to play the game right in the beginning. So what I do is I play about 5 to 10 hours of a game, and then I'm just trying to give you an idea whether you're going to enjoy it right off the bat or not. That, coupled with the fact that I think games are one of the most subjective forms of art. I won't be giving a score to this review. I'll be telling you what the game is. Then I'll be giving a list of pros and cons for the game, in my point of view, as all reviews are. And then I'll be telling you whether I personally will be sticking with this game outside the purposes of this review. Also, quick disclaimer. One more quick disclaimer. I am battling something in my throat still, so please be a little patient with the way I talk. So, that being said, what am I reviewing today? I am reviewing Riders Republic from Ubisoft. Why am I reviewing it suddenly out of the blue, even though it's been out for about a year? It just went into Game Pass, so I was able to fully play it. And this is an interesting one because I've always had a little bit of nostalgia for Tony Hawk Pro Skater from my youth. Some of the more extreme sports games were a lot of fun. Even though I've never been an extreme sports guy myself, I've always enjoyed the game. So this was something that very much interested me. Just to let you guys know, this is going to be a little bit more of a negative review. I don't like to do negative reviews, but I kind of promised that I would do this one, so I'm doing it. So here we go. So what is Riders Republic? Well, first of all, if you have ever played a Forza Horizon, it's that with extreme sports. It's very strange, and make no mistake about it, the bulk of this game, 80% of it, is racing. It is a racing game. It is not necessarily a tricks or extreme sport like variation game. Almost 90% of what you do here is races. I do think there are some trick things that they have added and put in, and you've been able to do tricks from the beginning, but almost everything I did with my 5 hours was a race of some sort. Now, there are tricks, like doing certain tricks can give you extra stars for when you complete the race, but the tricks don't seem to matter which wasn't something that I loved. We'll get into that. But the very premise is, right off the bat, it kicks you into a race. A couple of quick races, and then you end up at this kind of peak of a mountain where all your hub stuff is, your stores and whatnot. And then you meet two kind of ridiculous, but I'll admit it's slightly lovable extreme sports guru people who then kind of explain what they're doing here. And basically this entire mountain is owned kind of by them and the sponsors that you can unlock later. And the whole idea is, the whole thing has been turned into extreme sports mecca, with downhill races and tree races and all sorts of crazy stuff going on. That's what they throw at you, and then they say, "Hey, go and get into it." And then you will be tasked to start one of 3 different careers. You can start your bicycling career. You can start your snow career, which includes skis and snowboards. And then you can start your air career, which is very confusing because it's wingsuits and jetpacks. That's right, jetpacks. I didn't lie about that. Then it kind of works. Selecting one of these careers will then set you on a path to finish these certain races. Oh my. Once you start these races, you'll be tasked to get stars. And you earn stars by winning the race or completing the race and then doing certain things during them. Maybe it'll be popping a certain number of balloons, doing a certain number of tricks during the race, something along those lines. But that's basically the game. There is not a ton of trick stuff here. There is a ton of microtransactions. They've added a number of different toys and different careers to be done, such as skateboarding. That's right, in this extreme sports game, there was no skateboarding in the beginning of the game. When it first launched, there was just bikes, the wingsuits and rocket ships, and then the skis and snowboards. So they added that, but of course, $7.50. Again, we're going to get to that later. As you complete tasks, once you complete these races, another race unlocks, and you just move through the certain different races. The races are interesting. They're kind of checkpoint based with no real walls around them, so you can just kind of fly off the course. There's also, of course, a rewind mechanic like in Forza. Again, this is very much like in Forza Horizon, but with extreme sports instead of cars. The big difference here is that you really can't buy your tools. You unlock them every certain level. So you gain experience in many different ways, both weekly, daily. I think there's also a level for each of the careers, and as you level up, you'll be thrown different items, different skis, different snowboards, different bikes, whatever. So just like every race, you're just getting stuff hurled at you. There's a lot of overstimulation here. I will say, however, there is a huge community for this game. I went in and I played in 5 hours. I don't think I ever was in a room with less than 100 people. You could probably see from some of the footage I captured, anytime I'm on the map, you can see little like heads moving around. Those heads are people. So you can see how many people are actually using this game and playing this game. I don't know if that's a bump from the Game Pass or if it has always existed. I'm sure they got a little bump, but there is just a ton of people playing this game right now, which is crazy. Then, of course, just like any of the other games that I've mentioned, there are these kind of live events that pop up that give you 5 minutes to get to them and get involved, especially these things called mass races, which I would say are a centerpiece of this game, which are basically like huge races that require you to switch between different things. So you will have an entire race with the skis, but before the race actually ends, you switch to the rocket packs, then you switch to the bikes, then that leg of the race ends, and then there's 3 legs of it. These races take anywhere from like 10 to 20 minutes. They're very long, very drawn out races, and it also involves like 64 people, and there is collision on most of these, so you're just bumping into each other all over the place. It's kind of insane, but very fun. So other than that, there's a few challenges you can find, some trials challenges, and then there's lab events, which I'll get into in the pros. And then other than that, that's the game. That's as simple as it is. That is the loop. So let's go ahead and get into the pros and cons. I like to go positive first, so let's start with the pros. Mass races. So much fun. Absolutely so much fun. Could not wait to get into the next mass race. I think it is the centerpiece of this game and easily the most fun, especially since there is so many people playing this that you're never like just sitting in a lobby somewhere for too long. It is absolutely great. They are long, chaotic, insane things. Plus, there's so many people involved in the race that even if you're finishing like 35th, you still feel like you're accomplishing something, which I really enjoy about them. They are really cool to get involved with, and easily the best part about this game, without a doubt, the most fun I had. I'm actually going to give a shout out to the voice acting. Yes, is it campy? Yes. Is the voice acting a little silly? Yes. Is it a very, whoa, cool dude? Yeah, but I found myself chuckling a couple of times. I actually found myself wanting to listen to what they said, even though it was campy and silly. It's almost like watching a bad B-rate movie to chuckle at how it's written, and you can tell that the actors in it know it's a bad B-rate movie, and they're slacking it up. It's kind of how it felt. Like everybody feels like they're in on the joke, that this is just kind of like some campy silliness, which I enjoyed. I enjoyed it. And then finally, the lab events were really cool. So this game now, and I'm positive this was not in at launch, but it has what's called the lab, the event lab. You can create your own events, your own stunts and downhill races and all sorts of stuff with the lab thing. Now, I didn't actually try to create an event. I just didn't have time to do it. However, the lab events make things very cool and interesting. They're kind of the spice in a lot of ways that this game needed, and I think that it adds a certain replayability to it that's very enjoyable. I love finding the lab events and then being able to like, oh, what crazy thing did this person come out with, and then try and do what they're doing, which is really cool. Yeah, that's it for the pros, guys. That's it for the pros. I mean, I will say it's pretty. There's no doubt about that. But the cons are quite a few, in my opinion. First of all, the price of this slash the microtransactions. If you are not playing this game in Game Pass, this game costs $40. $40 whole dollars. When it came out, I'm pretty sure it cost $60 whole dollars. And this game is full of microtransactions. There is a premium currency that you cannot earn, from what I can tell. There is another currency that seems nearly useless compared to the premium currency. Oh, you think you got a good amount of cash with 20,000? Sorry. Everything in the store costs like $1 million something, and there's only ever 2 crap options available to that kind of cash. Everything else is the microtransaction premium currency cash here. And the thing that truly pissed me off is skateboarding should have been in an extreme sports mecha type game from the beginning. But yet, $7.50, at least according to their cash. At least I'm assuming that's what the cost is. I didn't get into it. But premium cash, $750 to do the skateboarding. Anything past the tutorial of the skateboarding. Which bummed me out, because the skateboarding seemed really exciting. It seems to be the more trick-heavy stuff that I'm looking for. It also, just from the tutorial, I was able to do a lot of cool tricks. And I actually liked the controls on the skateboarding. Which I can't say for the rest of the game. We'll get into it. But I couldn't play the skateboarding because premium currency. Premium currency on a game with a premium cost is bullshit. This is a free-to-play game. Make it a free-to-play game, or at least lower the cost to budget. This is ridiculous. Yes, they put it in Game Pass. But again, Game Pass, you're paying for the games in Game Pass with your subscription fee. I can't say that enough. It's not free. So, moving on. Right into the controls section. I hate the controls in this game on a lot of things. First of all, they have the camera attached to the bumpy stick, and I'm constantly accidentally switching the camera in stressful times of the game. On top of that, they have inverting the y-axis on some things, but not others. So you invert it on the rocket ship, but you don't invert it on other stuff. It is so hard on the mass races to switch to rocket ship, and the rocket ship is awful. I hate it. Look, if you could control the rocket ship, you're a better person than me, and I appreciate that. The jetpack, anyway. For me, it was like every time I would be in a mass race, I'd be in the top 10, I'd hit rocket pack, I'd fall to 20, because I'd just be running into stuff. I couldn't control it. If I inverted the y-axis, it almost seemed to make it worse. It was just terrible. I don't like that control scheme on the rocket pack, and I don't like that it is always included in some way, shape, or form in this game. You got to master that rocket pack if you want to get anywhere, if you want to make progress. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the controls. I'm sure there's mapping, but I just didn't love them. They seemed a little twitchy. They seemed a little weird. There's some cool things about it. Like there is some variation between like how you control one thing to another, which I like, but they made some of them so different that it's too hard for my brain to switch on the fly. Lack of variation. This is a race game. Anybody who thinks it's not a race game is crazy. Unless maybe you own the skateboarding or you've gotten far enough that it unlocks some sort of trick thing. This is a race game. I haven't found anything with tricks, and I did at least the first mission of all 3 careers and a few missions of both ski and biking, and it's all races. It's all downhill races. Everything's a race. Different types of races, but all races. So there is a serious lack of variation. I mean, like I said, operating the skis is a little bit different than operating the snowboard and a little bit different than operating a bike, which I appreciate. But at the same time, this is just a race game, an extreme race game. It shouldn't be an extreme sports game. You can do tricks, and that's cool, but there's not enough trick-heavy or focused events. And then finally, the overstimulation. This game just hurls shit at you. This game is like made for just every second, it's like, hey, do this event. Hey, here's a skis. Hey, here's a thing. Hey, here's another thing. Oh, now you're dancing. Now you're emoting. Now somebody else is doing something. It is just the video game equivalent of a water balloon filled with tie-dye paint getting chucked at your face. And it's just a little bit too much for me. Just a little bit too much. Especially when it's hard to even find just normal base colors that weren't neon. Does Ubisoft think everybody who likes extreme sports is like those characters from Batman Forever who are just constantly glowing in the dark? That's not how it works. I was really happy when I found just a flannel shirt. That was really nice. Alright, so that's it. Whether or not I'm going to stick with it, as you have probably gathered, no. It is already off my hard drive. I can't deal with that rocket ship, and there's a couple of other things about it that I don't like. I really don't want to contribute to this company in any way with the price/microtransaction conversion is just ridiculous. So, with that being said, I am not going to be sticking with Riders Republic. But I got some more reviews on the way that are positive. We've got Double Dragon Gaiden coming, Genshin Impact coming, and then I'm going to try and do a review for the Elder Scrolls Castles on the mobile. I'm not sure how yet to capture. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. Did I get it right? Did I get it wrong? You can let me know in the comments below. Other than that, you can reach me on Facebook at OldManGamingDH, on X at OldManGaming9. You can join our Discord, links in the description below. Influence us in all of our shows from there. As long as you guys keep watching and listening, we'll keep making them. See you guys next time.